To me, being challenged is growth. So if you don't challenge a kid, they're not going to grow as a person.
There is no one-size-fits-all solution to try and raising the bar. We try and get kids involved in anything that they're interested in, whether that be an academic club or program like AVID, IB, AP, Puente. There's a whole host of academic opportunities we provide our students. Could be through activities. We have about 75 clubs here on campus where students can get involved from your FBLA or Future Business Leaders of America, all the way to a gaming club, as well as athletics. We have a number of highly competitive athletic programs. And so any way that we can get students involved and connected to school, there's an advisor or a coach that has the ability to be actively involved in that kid's life, and then support them in the classroom as well, as have that communication between their classroom teacher and their advisor or their coach to be another positive reinforcement and making sure that they're on the right track academically. And so I think all of those things assist in raising the bar. As I said, there's no one-size-fits-all approach that we take here.
We have about an hour and 25 minutes every Wednesday built into the school day to work together as a PLC team.
And they did not that great on the test, and it was an open note test, and we think that because they thought it's an open note test.
We talk about the different things that we're doing in the classroom, and we look at how can we make this assignment better? How can we make this activity more engaging? How can we make this content area more accessible to students so that they can grasp it, learn it, and grow from it?
You know, we get to bounce ideas off each other. So if we plan together, then if somebody has a cool lab or a cool lesson, we all get to do it.
They've built these into the school week, and it's where the teacher voice comes together to talk about professional work, teaching, learning, how to improve. And the pedagogy is everything, you know, and they are the authorities on it with these children. They know it deeply.
Interventions for the students to get the learning to actually happen and things like that. And so I kind of wrote down just the idea of what we talked about last week here. We do the tutoring, so we offer...
Accountability is just there because we want to do well. We want to do well personally, and it bothers all of us when our kids are failing.
They simply know that their job is to stretch children academically and give them tools to take responsibility for their own learning.
Sometimes I'll get an email from a language arts teacher, be like, hey, Johnny is failing my class and he's acting up. Like, what's happening in your grades? And then we'll email back, and then next thing you know, we have a little parent meeting with a counselor, and we're figuring out what's going on. And the counselors are fantastic. I mean, I don't know how they handle 3,200 students, but they do, and they do it well.
Their placement determines so much, and poor placement can hurt their self-esteem, their confidence, which ultimately causes them to not do well in the class.
It's more of a community rallying together, finding what differences there are that are out there, and then being able to come up with strategies and suggestions and a vision to help students be successful. When you apply to college, that admission counselor is going to look at your transcript, see A's and B's, and they're going to be okay.
So even if we have students who are desiring to go into an AP or honors class, we like to talk to the teachers to make sure that's going to be a proper placement, because we want to know that they can be successful.
You know, one of the things that we have to try and balance is some of our kids are trying to take 5 and 6 advanced placement or IB classes.
Our students are very competitive, and no one wants to be left behind. I see that when I see study groups here in the Career Center at lunchtime. I'm like, don't you want to eat? They're like, yeah, we're doing both.
You know within 3-4 weeks what these students can do, and you challenge them accordingly.
If you set the bar too high, sometimes you're worried that they will just give up. But if you set it too low, it's not even worth their effort because it's too easy. And so you really have to find that fine line of where you're going to challenge them.
A lot of times what happens is we really focus on our A kids, we really focus on our F kids, and then the C, D, B minus kid usually gets left behind. So We have a little system we do at the quarter. We call up the students and we give them their quarter grade personally. And I actually have them say, what is your goal for the semester? And you'll be surprised, like they are so shocked by that question. And they're like, wait, you want me to have a goal? Like no one's ever asked me to have a goal, you know? And then I say, tell me your goal for this semester. So they tell me, like, I have a C, my goal is to get an A. Or my goal is to get a B, you know? Or they'll say, I didn't turn in 3 homework assignments. My goal is not to miss any homework assignments. Research clearly shows the more kids are involved in school, different activities, different clubs, the higher their buy-in is, and the higher their grades are, and the more successful they are.
Being at Centennial High School, I think athletics and academics is like a perfect marriage.
We have over 50% of our students in athletics.
It drives you to do better. It teaches you discipline, it teaches you motivation.
For a kid to be a part of something on this campus, whether it's softball, baseball, basketball, football, whatever, it really gives them motivation outside the sport to be successful.
Whenever you have a successful sports team, you have a successful school, you have school morale and camaraderie is up, I think it plays and speaks volume to the school in itself.
Our coaches keep close watch on them in terms of academics.
If you have that guidance of a teacher or a coach or a club mentor, you know, you have an outlet, and I think you have another guide. And sometimes those guides have more influence on these students than their parents do.
We strive for excellence. This is one of the main things that I always tell them, because I said, you're going to compete when you leave here. You're going to compete here, but you're going to compete when you leave here.
In everything that we do, in my classroom and here at Centennial, we kind of try to give them the bigger picture. How does this apply to when you leave school and you go out into the real world?
If they're comfortable here, I want to nudge them a little bit. If they're comfortable here, I want to nudge them a little bit. Because I think we have to keep nudging, you know. And a little bit of nudge goes a long way.